In my mind, there's one choice for roofing around here, and I'd go with your best choice. Whether it's time to replace your roof or repair it, Best Choice Roofing provides top-notch roofing services tailored to meet the unique needs of Detroit homes and businesses. They serve the region and inside the city of Detroit, too. You can find out more at bestchoiceroofing.com/Detroit. That's bestchoiceroofing.com/Detroit. Or call 313-474-7031. That's 313-474-7031. Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit. We are back for the week. I am so happy you are with us. I am Jer Stays, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. And to help me on this journey, and it's going to be a journey where we talk a lot about baseball, none other than Fletcher Sharp. How are you? Are you looking forward to anything right now, man?
Yeah, I was politely poked by my team captain, letting me know that the DCFL, the Detroit City Football League, starts this week on Tuesday at historic Fort Wayne. So if you're not aware, the Detroit City Football League is the soccer league that started DCFC. But there are, I think, 28 teams currently, all representing different neighborhoods, like Scripps Park or Grandmont Rosedale, or one of the newer Morningside teams, or of course the best team, obviously, in Old Redford. And they're the best because I'm on there and the Daily Detroit logo is on the back. But if you have free time, get down to Fort Wayne, 6:30, 7:30, maybe find a neighborhood you live in, or, a neighborhood that your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend lives in, and root against that team or something, whatever gets you going throughout the day.
Okay, so I am not a soccer player. Anyone who meets me would know that I'm much more of the Babe Ruth slugger type than the soccer type. And so what are we saying here? Are spikes out? Like, what is the intensity level here?
So there are 4 different divisions. Like, there is the relaxed. It used to be the no division. So you'd have like a team of like I'll never forget. We had a year where Grand Circus Park had a team, and it was essentially just the Grand Valley State, like, women's plus like the Grand Valley State club men. So like young kids who really want to try. Like, to put in an example, one of them performed a take foul, which if you watch basketball or soccer is like when you intentionally just hack someone down, and someone got up mad and he gave him a double bird salute to his face. And we're like, this is a recreational league. What are you doing? We're not playing for money. Like, naturally they won, so. But to answer your question, there's 4 different divisions. They have the relaxed, and they have the relaxed recreational, then they have the recreational competitive, then they have the competitive. So at the end of the year, we have something called the Copa Detroit, which is where all the teams play in one big tournament, which is where you kind of get, a gumbo of Detroit soccer. But you'll have some games, which you can tell pretty easily. Some games are a little bit more intense. Some games are, if you're playing sports, it's going to get intense for a second. But some games it smells like sulfur as you walk up, like, ooh, there's some wicked's about to happen. And some games you walk up and like people are helping each other up, high-fiving, laughing about jokes. They keep score, but like you can tell they don't really care about the score.
So where are the games usually played around town?
Used to be specifically on Belle Isle, and then we did a cool thing that I liked but everyone else hated, where we went around different parts of the city, and you'd play at different fields around the city, which I loved because people who are not from the city get a chance to see parts of the city they wouldn't normally see and play wherever. But people hated it because afterwards there's an after party at one of the bars in the neighborhood. So 10 teams will take responsibility of hosting an after party at a bar in their neighborhood, 1 per week. And if you played in like, one of the Dearborn bordered cities, if the bar is in Woodbridge, probably going to have a hard time getting there. By the time you get there, it might just be over. So people stopped liking that. So as of now, the main hub of games, all the games, it's at historic Fort Wayne by the bridge. Really gorgeous venue. Get to play with, the bridge, the building in the background. Used to be an old historic fort. So yeah, you get to maybe see a cannon or two as you walk up, maybe get a little piece of history as you walk up that very large hill to the soccer fields.
You were talking about bars. on the west side of town where I have not been for a while, and I need to go. I have not been to Abix in a long time. That's a dive bar over on Gilbert Street near like Michigan and Livernois. And that place is in a cool like corner place. Have you ever been to Abix?
I have not.
All right. So anyway, it is a legendary Detroit dive bar. It made me think, because you know Whiskey in the Jar and other places. That's why I ask about Abix. But maybe that's someplace we're going to need to meet up after one of your games or something.
Yeah, well, Whiskey in a Jar I know because we're champions, and they'll never take that from us.
So you were talking about people coming from wherever, coming to games. And I had a thought to kick off this Tigers segment. And I have a strong feeling that I came to over the weekend because I was at the Indian Village garage sale, and Agnes Street looked like a slice of like Lincoln Park, Chicago, or like one of the shopping districts of New York. It was packed. There was all kinds of people and things going on. And I'm all for people enjoying a good time. But I have a very strong feeling, especially understanding that our Detroit Tigers are at the top of not only the American League, but near the tippy top, depending on when you're hearing this, of the entire Major League Baseball. You, unless you were born with a Derek Jeter baseball rattle, unless you are from New York City, unless you have ridden the subway to Yankee Stadium, I do not want to see you in a Yankees hat this year. They are our enemies. I saw way too many of them. It looked like maybe half of them were picked up at some shop like Aritzea at Somerset. And listen, if you're in the aesthetic, the Old English D, the New York, like if you don't care about baseball, have some hometown pride and wear a damn Tigers hat. You are in Detroit. You get the pass. If you are from New York, if the Yankees are your team, I don't like you right now, but I understand. You get the hometown pass. I have a friend of mine, a family member I love dearly. They are still an Avs fan, even though we are in Red Wing territory. I understand. They grew up with the Avs. You get that pass. I cannot believe that many people are running around in pink or orange or whatever New York Yankees designer hats. Pick up a pink Detroit Tigers hat. Have some hometown pride.
See, that doesn't really bother me very much, mainly because the Tigers have been bad for a while. And like while they had the uptick at the end of last year to make the playoffs, kind of like with the Lions, maybe a bit different because football is a bit more football crazy than, say, baseball in the area. But like it takes a minute because people have been burned before. People are like, I'm fully in, and then the team has sucked. And it's like, well, now I have all this orange and blue paint. What am I going to do with it? And if you like the Mets, you could just, switch over. But I understand. Just like the Old English D, the New York Yankees logo is kind of iconic. Like you see it and you go places and you're like, I know exactly what that is. So they might be Yankees fans. They might not. I know Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, two of the biggest stars in Major League Baseball currently. So I'm not going to necessarily fault them for that. Now, if they're wearing like a Chicago White Sox hat or like a Colorado Rockies, I'm like, what? Are you from there? And if not, like, what are you doing? Like, why? That doesn't really go with a fit. That's not like you're not out here trying to match or something, being matchy with that. The Yankees, though, I understand. It's like maybe if you're in Alberta or somewhere, or you're in a part of Colorado, or you're in Texas and you see Detroit Red Wing. It's like, yeah, I understand why. Historically, that makes a lot of sense. I might not like it, but I understand why you'd have that. Because if you follow a sport transiently, you think of hockey, you think of the Red Wings in one of your top three teams. When I was younger and I thought of soccer, I thought of random team, Manchester United. Mainly because David Beckham, and as a kid, you knew who the Spice Girls were, and you knew that he was with one of them, now his wife. And it was a global thing of like, I don't know much about soccer, but Manchester United. But I understand why you'd have that logo. Now, if the Tigers go on, continue at the pace they're going at, finish maybe 3/4 of the season, number one, yeah, I don't want to see that hat either at that point, because they've shown like you should be wearing their apparel. But right now, it's early on. They're playing great. But like I get you being a little slow to thaw on coming out with Old English D as opposed to that Yankees hat. I would say if they had a beard or like something, I'd be like, you couldn't even play for the team with a beard like that. Like, come on, man. Like, what? Like they have rules. You can't have all that.
Let's talk about the team a little bit, because there is an energy that is palpable, whether it's in comments, whether it's in our member-only Discord on Patreon. It is different than even last year, because last year was a surprise. It was really exciting that, the team scrapped together a playoff run. This year, it feels like a far more solid base, and you are smarter than me around this, Fletcher Sharp, and many things. What's different this year? How are they winning?
One thing that's the same as last year, Tarek Skubal, he is still really, really good at throwing a ball into the catcher's mitt without people hitting it. Still very good. So in order to be a good team in any sport, you have to have one position who is above everybody else. And Tarek Skubal, I think even people who don't like the Tigers couldn't say that he's like not above everybody else. If they won't put him as the best pitcher, he's at least top 3 for sure. So having an ace like that, very, very big. Having someone you can just give the ball to and say, hey, go throw 8 innings, get us out of this. Secondly, it's kind of a two-parter, like for 2 and 3, but I'm going to go the main point. They're hitting better. They're hitting better as a team. Last year, they finished with a batting average 234, which at times felt very generous. Really felt like it was like 210 for the entire team. So far, they're batting at 258. And honestly, that seems like an insult because it seems like they're hitting a lot better. They're getting on base more. They're bringing people around more. They're walking a little bit more and striking out less. And you'll score more runs if you strike out less. But the whole point of sports is to score more than your opponent. So if you're averaging a run more, it gives you a much better chance of winning a game that's close versus last year's hope of let's score 2 runs and hope that our pitchers can bail us out. And save for Skubal, most of them could not until late. So this has been a much better start because pitching's been better, hitting's been better. But specifically for hitting, number 3, Javier Baez is hitting better. He finished last year with a 1.84 average and negative 1.1 WAR, which is atrocious. It's bad. 200 is like the standard of like, are you going to hit okay? Like that's where an average hitter hits. And he was well below that. In fact, the Tigers played better when he just didn't come off the bench at all. This year, however, he's batting a career high currently, 308 with a WAR of 1.7. To go from negative 1.1 to 1.7, he's second on the team in WAR. He's behind Skubal, which obviously. But when you go from that to that, that's going to mean something a lot. I don't know if it's moving him from shortstop to center field. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he's hitting better. And as a result of him hitting better, it's less outs. He's not striking out nearly as much, which means more people on base, more attempts to hit the ball. And if he's hitting better, which from 184 to 308, significantly better, means he's probably on base, which means someone can hit him around and hit him home, which again, one more run. So I know people are like, numbers, yikes, but that's essentially what baseball is half the time. The other half is that man hit that ball very hard. So really, to boil it down, Tigers are hitting the ball very hard, a lot more than they aren't. And as a result, they're winning more. And if you honestly take away that first series against the Dodgers where they went 0-3, they have the best record in baseball.
All right, I know you over the years, and I say this with the most love, Fletcher Sharp, is a bit of a grumpy cat. You're not a bandwagoner. You like to see the data. You restrain your emotions about teams. I am on board with this Tigers team. I am excited. I have been looking for something like this for a long time. But for you, What are you looking for in the next, I think we're more than 40 games in now. What are you looking for in the next few weeks, couple of months to get you fully on board?
Get to All-Star break, be a top 3 team in the conference, then we're cooking with gas. Because as we saw last year with the Tigers, up until the trade deadline, the Tigers were terrible. They were like dead in the water, terrible. And then all of a sudden, they clicked and they started playing really well. So what they're doing right now is great, but it does not matter to me at all until I see it actually hold on. Because again, Javier Baez hitting 308, OPB 345, playing amazing. If he ended the season now, 308, it would be a career high for him. He's never batted over 300 in his career. Do I expect him to keep up this pace? Probably not. History shows he's not done that. He could definitely prove me wrong, though. I'd be glad to see it. So baseball, unlike all these other sports, is a very weird sport. Like the yips can hit you in almost any sport, but it hits you in baseball the hardest. And it almost seems like it hits an entire team when it does hit. So get to All-Star break. Still top 3, top 4. Heck, if they maintain this pace now, I'll give you even literally half the games played in a season. But get to All-Star break, maintain this pace to a degree, top 3, top 4 team in your division. Yeah, then I'm ready to be like, okay, all right, let's lock in. Let's see potential playoff matchups. Let's see what we're doing. As of now, it's just watching ball and having fun, watching the Tigers play well. But I'm not putting any stock in anything past that until I can see some real continuity.
Well, the good thing about that would be is that every team ends up having a doldrums. I mean, almost every team. There's always exceptions to prove the rule, but there's always going to be that slump. And you want to have enough built up so that when you hit the slump that usually happens with a season that is more than 160 games, that's just human nature, that you're ready for it. And that when you hit it, it just doesn't hurt you too bad. You know what I mean?
And yeah, even with a slump, you have to see exactly what that slump is. Like for some teams, a slump is like, oh, we lost 4 or 5 games in a row, or we lost the last 5 of 9 games. Sure. Some teams, a slump is we've lost 16 in a row. So really, it's like, what is your slump? When you've lost 3-4 games in a row, how are you reacting? And are you losing these games because you're hitting poorly or because you're pitching poorly? Or is it just like mental mistakes? Like, what is it? If they go cold with the bats, I'd be a little bit more concerned because they've shown last year, like if they go cold with the bats, they have to rely on their pitching. And outside of Scooble, I mean, even with Jack Flaherty being, a bit of a remontada showing that he's back, I don't really trust any of these pitchers with a 1 or 2 run lead to close the game out. And relying on a bullpen as a Tigers fan, like just gives me flashbacks to Todd Jones. And like, I don't really want to do that.
I would love to see it at the studio, man. I absolutely would love to see it. All right. Well, with that, we are done for today with your Daily Detroit. Thank you so much to our members on Patreon, patreon.com/Daily Detroit. Seen a lot more active conversation about the Tigers. That's why we're doing this episode. Absolutely appreciate it. And I think sports can be a great way to bring people together and have fun at the ballpark. I think we're going to need to get out to a game and do a little bit of food reviewing, if you will, Fletcher. I think that would be a lot of fun.
It's one of those things where, like, if you don't like baseball per se, that's totally fine. I can understand why you wouldn't. Going to baseball games is like one of the best sports experiences, period. Like, period. Better than football, basketball, even if you don't like the sport per se, like, the stadium is like alive. And when your team is good, it's even more alive. It's such a nice time to, and Comerica Park is like a nice facility to just go. And if maybe your team's getting blown out, maybe there's a rain delay, learn about some Tigers history while you're there. Maybe, watch the Tigers win a game. Or if you're an adult, get one of those yard-long frozen drinks up there. But don't drink all of it at once because you will puke blue. And that's not a fun time. Don't ask me how I know. Just don't do it.
Do we need to bring Engineer Randy for a very tall daiquiri?
I would love a very tall daiquiri with Engineer Randy. I'm okay with that. That's fine.
No, that would be a team picture. I think that would be hilarious. Well, Fletcher, I appreciate you so very much. I also appreciate our members on Patreon, patreon.com/Daily Detroit. I appreciate you for listening and keeping tuned in to your Daily Detroit. It's absolutely special that you spend your time with us. With that, I'm Jer Stays. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit. Talk tomorrow.